Mic check. Just mic check. 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 So in this video is a very unusual exercise that most people will probably not want to do or have never seen before. Now this is just something where we are trying to reverse the weight that you typically shift your weight on as you walk. So when you're standing up, you may just end up being more like onto the right hand side of the body. Now if you're right-handed, that most likely will apply to you, and if you're left-handed, then obviously the weight would bear on the left hand side. When you sleep, you would sleep on particularly sometimes a certain side of the body. When you drive, most likely if you're a right-handed driver, when the steering wheel is on the right hand side, it means that you're going to be predominantly using not only your right leg to use the pedal, but really looking outside the door to see your blind spot. Now this is very crucial because a lot of times we do not really pay attention to this aspect of our lives and how it affects even us approaching fitness. We just assume that we should be able to squat symmetrically, press symmetrically. But when we've been dominating all our lives on one side, technically it just means that our brain is programmed to think one side. So this is a great way for you to sort of not only stretch that right side, but strengthen the other side to allow your body to find that nice proprioceptive balance. So it reminds itself, actually, when this one is working, when I'm here, this is stretching, but when I can do now the opposite side, I can stretch and work in here. Very, very something new for most people to this. But again, I would encourage most people to do this exercise, because if you have pain getting up in the morning, this is perfect. If you have any difficulties overhead pressing or squatting or finding balance through exercise, this is definitely another one that you should do. So I'm going to get Dimitri to lie side on the foam roller. How big does the foam roller need to be? It doesn't really matter. Just as long as it's comfortable foam roller, no spiky ones. So the key concept that we're looking for is that we're going to try and make sure that Dimitri is really getting this part here to lengthen all the way through his arm. And then how we get this back muscle to stretch more is that we need to pull this leg back. So the lat is attached to the hip, and we get this leg forward, and then we've got to try and keep the hip as if it's like standing upright. We don't want it to tilt. And all we're looking to do is get this leg to extend back and bend as much as you can. And as you can see, automatically from this, you can start to see he can't pull his leg or extend his leg back. This then tells me there's tightness in the quad. So all I'm doing in this video is going to get you to basically observe your own body. I will also show you what I would do as a second person to help you. But if you only got yourself, then this position is a great position. Trying to extend your arm in the air, nice and straight. So then you create this nice lengthened position. Now, how long should you stay here? As long as possible. To increase that feeling, you're going to drive the elbow into the pad and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So that really then contracts the back to get that to extra stretch. Can you feel that, Dimitri?
Yeah.
And squeeze harder, as hard as you can, and keep this hip down. Good. So you won't want to do it forever, but you just take it like maybe hold for 5 seconds and then repeat again. Now, if I was to help him, what I would do is I would try to lock his leg in, and I want to get him to extend his arm as much as he can. So we can then basically drive his elbows in, squeeze, and then I also want him to lift his head up. Lift your head up, high up. That's it. So we get a greater stretch. Squeeze the foam roller, squeeze elbow, elbow, elbow. And as you can see, it's like jiu-jitsu move where he's got no room to move, but we're trying to really get that greater stretch. Another point we want to do is try to release this lower hip to get this to release. Very, very uncomfortable. However, it will really help with improving. And that is where we want him to feel that sort of discomfort, because sometimes this discomfort is useful. However, obviously, if he's doing it on his own, the only fatigue that he will feel is that it's like a stretch. He will get too uncomfortable that he'll have to come up.
It looks like we're hitting the nerve here, so it burns.
So he's saying now, which I need the feedback on, is that we need to really get this quad to release, because that's where he's saying the most pull is coming from. So when he's walking and he walks and he pulls his leg back, he can't pull his leg back enough, so his lower back will end up kicking in. So if we can start to release that, that means that the more mobility will kick in. So that concludes this exercise. Again, if you need that assistance, please feel free to drop me a DM at any time. Mic check, mic check.